There are a lot of studies even conducted in Malaysia through interview survey. Everybody knows medications, the expired medication cannot be just simply thrown away through the waste. Yeah. So just not general knowledge there is, okay. But when we ask how they throw it, then that is when we got 80 or 90% of the people says that they will just throw it together with the general household. More concerned about it's not so much of how whether the public know how to dispose of their expired medication, but it's whether they know the danger of disposing of those expired medication into the environment. Medications that it consists of actually poison. It's governed by in our country. It's governed by a Poison Act 1952. So it's a scheduled. It means it's a control. It's a controlled substance. Substances. I mean, it's a group of certain medication. Though it doesn't look dangerous, but you never know what actually the harm it may cause to the environment. If let's say general public do not know what medication they are taking, what harms can be done, it's better that we treat them as a whole as something dangerous to dispose it out and contaminate our environment.
So what happens is the residue of these medicinal wastes are openly dumped into soil or flushed down the toilet, which is due to an inappropriate practice of disposal. And later they reach the water supplies, and their decomposition derivatives influence the natural life. So there have been reports of medicine being thrown into landfills, dumping grounds, and this shows that most people do not know where to throw their medicine other than their household waste bins.
99% of sewage is just dirty water. The rest is made up of solids, chemicals, fats, nutrients, nasties, and some items that should not be in the sewerage network.
That's a lot of poo. Oh, sewage isn't just poo. It's also anything you flush down the toilet or send down your sink and your drain.
The first way may comes from the individuals or pets through their metabolic excretions, sweats, and also mobilities. And they're also coming from the underground leakage sewage system infrastructure. Some of them also coming from the releasing of treated or untreated sewage or hospital waste or any other pharmaceuticals manufacturing plants to the domestic system. They also might come from the individual septic tank, the release from the agricultural and the livestock farming activities, like giving the antibiotics to crops or for the medications or antibiotics to combat certain disease for the animals. And also they may coming from the disposal or release from the illicit drug usage, illegal drug usage.
So inappropriate medicine disposal may impact and impose an economic burden on patients along with the healthcare system in Malaysia. As unused medicine disposed by the general public sometimes are in large quantity, so not only it does deprive other patients of the use of this discarded medication, it also costs public money to dispose them in a proper manner. A lot of time, the unused medicine is being discarded into rubbish bins at home, and it could be easily found by young children or pets. So when consumed by children or pets, this medicine can cause accidental poisoning. Sharing of leftover or unused medicine with others may also result in medical accident.
The researcher has done, they actually detected poison, which is medicine, in the river. Okay, and the well-known study in overseas in America is that they discovered that when there are a lot of hormones substances leaked into the river, it actually changed the sex of the fish. And the whole clan of fish, it became a female fish, and eventually we have no fish to eat.
In aquatic life, fishes is one of the most vulnerable species to the high concentrations of pharmaceuticals. Okay, some studies of pharmaceuticals found that the examples of pharmaceuticals are diclofenac, S11 alpha, ethinyl estradiol. Okay, for example, these two pharmaceuticals found to induce the structural disruptions of the kidney and the intestines of these fishes. Okay, and they are also affected and alter the expressions of genes. For the long effects of these pharmaceuticals, the fishes might experience the difficulties in the survival, and also it affect the reproduction system of these fishes. And it also suggested by the researchers that the effects of these examples of pharmaceuticals can also affected in a similar way to mammals, including humans.
Another thing we worry about is maybe in the community we might not know what are the cancer medicine. Okay, cancer medication, if it also leaked into the soil, right, it actually very dangerous, because cancer medication, we know that it may actually cause harm to unborn babies, which is fetus. Actually, the government have documents that requires all of us, I mean the rakyat now, to follow. Whenever there are just chemicals and all the scheduled, they call it scheduled waste, that's produced by people, it has to be discarded off properly. One of the category is pharmaceutical waste. Okay? So expired medication consists of pharmaceutical waste. And the proper methods of dispose of pharmaceutical waste is through incineration.
According to FDA, medicine take-back options are the preferred way to safely dispose of most type of unneeded medicine. One of the examples in Malaysia is the Return Your Medicine program by Ministry of Health Malaysia, where the patient can actually return the unused or excess medication that kept at home to the nearest government clinic or hospital for a safe disposal. In addition, Caring has worked with Safe Dump programs since October 2020 on the medicine take-backs option, where our customer can actually send in their unwanted medicine to a selected Caring pharmacy store, and which eventually we will collect and send for incineration for a safe disposal.
And the proper methods of dispose of pharmaceutical waste is through incineration. It is a process where they send the goods to an incinerator, and it will be burnt above 850 degrees Celsius or up to 1000 degrees Celsius for I'm not sure how long. Okay, and with the control, under the control environment. Okay, and once it's being incinerated, and whatever the and all this what they call smokes that it's being released, from the incinerator, again is being treated and is being handled even before they actually send out to the environment. Okay, so it's a very controlled methods of burning actually. So by the time they finish after the incineration, after the burning above this high temperature, it actually breaks down a lot of dangerous chemicals into a not so dangerous substance. So incineration is the way to go, except for emitted dose inhaler. This is the only one that you cannot send in through incinerator because all this bottle may explode in the incinerator. So of all the medication need to be sent in through incinerator except for that bottle. Every packet of medication have patient's name. There's some kind of sometimes they also have some identification number. Okay, under the PDPA Act, that this patient's confidentiality is a very important things to follow. Okay, we have to keep the patient's information. So whenever the packet of medication is being thrown, actually the patient is actually exposed their identity lah. Okay, so for someone who knows the medicine, when they take out the packet, they look at the name, they look at the medication, they will know what is the person. We can guess lah, not really know. Oh, maybe this person suffer from certain illness. Maybe we may know. So in order to avoid that, I will always that is one of the things that we encourage, the public to, before they send the medicine to anywhere for disposal, we just take away whatever wordings that may identify patient. Okay, so that's number one. So second one, actually, we were discussing together with the caring pharmacy that this is a term I use. We will dispose of medication together with their primary container. That means the container that keep the medication. Let's say for eye drops, the primary container is the eye drop bottle, but not the eye drop box. Okay, because the box you don't need to send for incineration. For the capsule, it's packed into blister form. So blister is the one that hold the medicine. So we can go send the medicine for incineration together with the blister pack, but not the box. Okay? It's the same for cream. We don't need to squeeze the tube out. You send it together with the tube. Liquid also send together with the bottle. But for liquid, one thing that we have to be very conscious about is no leaking. So you make sure it's tightly closed and no leak out from the bottle.
As a start, I'll suggest giving your medicine cabinet a 6-monthly inspection. Check it every 3 to 6 months if possible. So this will stop the bottles and containers from building up and become unmanageable. It will also give you the opportunity to properly dispose any medicine that is no longer needed. So here are something that you can pay attention when you carry out your inspection, because they give you an indication whether this medicine should be thrown away. So first, check whether it's expired. Second, check whether the packaging is in good condition, or if there's some leakage, or you couldn't really identify the pills anymore. If yes, for both of these or either of these, you should actually throw them away. So what you can do, pack them in a bag and bring it to your nearest government clinic, hospital, or selected current pharmacy for a safe medicine disposal. As easy as that.
You can dispose of medications at local take-back programs through the DEA or your local community, pharmacy, or law enforcement agency take-back days.
Based from my experience working in the hospital, we have various type of waste. We have the normal waste where they have the white plastic bag, and then they have this waste, the chemical waste where they put in a yellow bin, and then we have those sharp waste that they put it in the sharp bin, and then we have those toxic cytotoxic drugs, these chemo drugs, where they put it in the purple waste. So when we put it in the wards or in the pharmacy, we actually differentiate this type of waste based on the categories, and then it will be collected by our those in charge. I think in this I cannot remember the company that is handling all this chemical waste, and it will be sent. They will collect it on their scheduled visit, and then they will send it for the incineration. So I think it will be done in a very proper way. That's why in terms of I think one of our campaign, Miss Mary, what we have done is just to advocate, to inform our patient, to say that when they have unused medication, please return it to the hospital, because in the hospital we know how to actually get rid of this medication, how to dispose of the medication in the proper way. So we will send it for incineration, and it will the company will know how to actually do the disposing lah.
Kualiti Alam is one of the companies in Malaysia that handles medicines waste. Medicines waste is included in the scheduled waste disposal. A scheduled waste is any waste that is hazardous and needs special care to dispose. Based on the information given by the interviewees, the unwanted medicines will go through incineration process. The steps include received waste, then offloads the waste into bunker unit, where it will be mixed and burned into the incinerator plant. Based on an interview with Ms. Sharifah, the Regional Manager of Scheduled Waste Management Kualiti Alam, she said it is important to educate Malaysians to dispose their discarded medicine properly, due to improper disposal will result to hazardous environment. And regarding to the percentage of the awareness, she believed that most Malaysians are aware that they should dispose the discarded medicine properly, since there ought to be many ads online or offline, informing Malaysians the correct way of disposing the waste.
I'm sure everybody has their a cabinet where they store away their medication. So this is probably the right time to go through the medication as to sort out which can be used and which cannot be used. Especially when you have your parents are taking long-term medication, so you can see that they have actually stocks of medication that they are keeping. So maybe you can sort out by the expiry date, like what Mary has mentioned. And if we are going to the hospital, I think mainly all the public hospital has this service where you can return the medication, because the public hospital, they will take on the expired drugs and unused medication, where they can dispose it safely through the company where they are engaged in they are engaging for disposing all this chemical waste. So I guess and then those yang mana yang you still have at home, you have to put it away from children to make sure that it doesn't reach the children and it will cause harm to other people lah.
Remember when I told you no matter where I go, I'll never leave your side, you will never be alone. Even when we go through changes, even when we're old, remember that I told you I found my way back home.